And it looks like we are live now. Welcome to Unreality Zone Fun and Games. Currently, we are playing a campaign of Modifius Entertainment's Star Trek Adventures. Our campaign is called Empires in Embers. The setting is Deep Space Nine, about 2 years after the Dominion War. Previously on Empires in Embers, Dracoon got beamed on board a doomed Dominion ship, the Executive Cruiser 216, moments before Warp Core breach, and saved it with time to spare. In so doing, Dracoon earned a fanboy, a Paradan engineer named Bejan. Meanwhile, in the process of helping GEM trace what happened to their missing fortune, Barbara Draper managed to find some deep information about Keen's financial shenanigans. Apparently, Keen had worked a deal that greatly enriched the Klingon house Kroba, the very house that swore vengeance against Vita. Part of the deal gave Keen ownership of an old bird of prey patrol ship, Kipak, crew and all. Apparently, Kipak recently discovered something significant in the Mutara sector. And incidentally, Barbara now has a solid backdoor into the GEM computer systems. Cadet Mattis Arna failed to convert Jal to her cause, and in so doing revealed more than she should have by name-dropping Starfleet Academy professor Sabe Traz, who sent her to assassinate Dracoon. Jal and Vita have notified the authorities on Earth. Later we'll roll to see if Droff has an existential crisis when he realizes the attempted assassination might cost Sabe Traz his tenure. USS Breedlove under Captain Garl has arrived to smooth tensions relations between the Nyberite Alliance and the Zenkethi. Garl happens to be Droff's husband-in-law, and I'm actually not sure what word applies there. I'm using that one. Regardless, it's always nice to have a Galaxy-class cruiser in the neighborhood.
Husband-in-law doesn't, that just means
my husband? What do you call it?
Just husband.
He's your husband?
No, co-husband or, brother husband or...
I mean, your wife's brother is your brother-in-law. Is your wife's husband your husband-in-law? I don't know. Your brother husband?
Okay.
And finally, a small squadron of 2 GEM executive cruisers and 2 Jem'Hadar fighters emerged from the wormhole. According to them, everything in the Gamma Quadrant is just fine. And according to the crew of Executive Cruiser 216, the Gamma Quadrant has descended into lawless chaos, having lost all contact with the founders. And so we're splitting the group up into going in 3 directions. But first, we're going to need to find out what happens in surgery with Dr. Smith and Dr. Tessick and Doc Bach working on your patients. Dr. Smith, are you ready?
I have never been readier in my life.
Okay, the galaxy is hanging on this. You've got 3 surgeons plus some helpers, and you've got 4 critical patients that need surgery. You've got, and I'm going to tell you who they are and what they look like, so you can triage and decide what to do with the 4 patients. Okay. You've got the Paradan captain of the ship, Goliath. He's got a work track of 9 successes on his surgery. You've got the con officer, Dalar, who's a docile, who's got a work track of 10 successes. You've got an accountant who's a Karama, who's got a work track of 3, and you've got an executive project manager who's a Karama, Mr. Overlut, who's got a work track of 11. He is wearing a very fancy suit, looks very important. There are also some other casualties, some wounded people who are conscious, who you could talk to if you want any more information about your patients. Actually, we'll say that the female Karama Jarane, I don't think I gave her name, the female Karama accountant Jarane, who has a work track of 3 successes, we'll say she's even conscious. The other 3 are unconscious. So you could talk directly to one of the patients.
Okay, so what happened here?
Well, the ship was attacked. People were wounded. We have a lot of wounded people here, but most of them just need bandaging up. The 3 of us need surgery.
Okay.
They all have life-threatening wounds and will not survive if the surgery fails.
So when you say successes, she's got 3 successes, what does that mean?
You've got to roll 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay.
But not all at the same time. It's a work track. So you keep working at it.
Okay.
And you can have helpers and you can work together, or you can split up the 3 doctors.
Okay. I am going to confer with Doc Bach here because I don't know very much about her. I'm going to ask her right off the bat, based on your medical experience, which of these patients, physiology-wise, do you feel most comfortable with? I don't want to sit here and fluff you with a patient who you don't think you have the skill set to deal with.
All right, Doc Bach is an unjoined Trill who has tremendous confidence and believes she has the skill to do anything.
Okay, I'm going to give her the one you said, the one that has that needs 3 successes. She's probably the one that's the least wounded of these 4 seriously wounded people.
Yes.
You can have her.
Okay.
Okay. You said the other 3 patients, one was the captain.
Mm-hmm.
One is like some kind of an accountant person. And then who's the third one?
The accountant is the one you just assigned to Doc Bach.
Yeah, okay, cool.
2 of the starship's officers, the captain and the con officer, they have work tracks of 9 and 10. And then there's someone in a very fancy suit who's the most badly wounded. He's probably the oldest. He's a Karama, and he has a work track of 11.
I'm going to ask this before I give her to Doc Bach. I'm going to ask this patient. Can you tell me something about this individual here?
Oh, yeah. This individual was not one of our passengers or crew. What happened was we were at the Founders Homeworld. Let me bring up the story here. We had an appointment to contact the Founders, and when we arrived, we saw this energy barrier erected around the planet. And let's see, this is an accountant, so they won't be able to tell you much about the energy barrier. And we couldn't contact the Founders through it. And there were other ships there. And then fighting broke out. There was a Vorta science vessel, kind of like the science vessel we see docked at your space station, that apparently suddenly realized that all rules were off, and they opened fire on this GEM executive cruiser over there. And they started looting and pillaging it. And we rescued the crew. They didn't seem to care about the passengers and crew. We took them off while they were looting the other ship, and we got out of there before they turned their guns on us. And as we were crossing the sector, we asked Dominion Traffic Central Control System to route us to our next destination, but instead it sent us straight into a trap. It was giving us false guidance systems, and we got to a place where another ship opened fire on us. Just a science vessel that decided all the rules were off and they were going to try to loot our ship. And we ran for the wormhole. And they severely damaged us and wounded a lot of people, but we made it here. Okay. They did not pursue through the wormhole.
So the takeaway is she doesn't know who this dude is.
This dude we rescued from another ship.
Yeah,
we rescued a whole bunch of people from another ship, and this dude seemed to be very important to them. His name is Mr. Overlut. I think he's some kind of project manager or something.
Okay. All right. You say he's the most seriously wounded of the bunch.
He is the most seriously wounded of the bunch.
All right, I got this guy. Dr. Tessick. I'm going to take a nurse to help me with this. I'm going to have Dr. Tessick start with the captain of the ship.
Okay.
Take care of him. Doc Bach, as soon as you're finished, whoever finishes first, the three of us, goes after the fourth one. We try to keep her stable till we can get to it. And basically the three of us are just gonna, as soon as we finish with somebody, we're gonna join the others and team up until we've got all four of these guys taken care of.
Okay. Phil, do you have your character sheet up?
Do I?
Yeah, you're going to want to...
let me get back into it.
You're going to want to decide if you want to use any focuses, talents, or... or values, if it really comes to that. You can use a point of determination. Everybody gets 1 point of determination. Or if you want to burn any momentum. Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, I don't suppose there's any way that my collaboration can be used to help the other doctors become even more awesome than they currently are.
Your collaboration could help a nurse help you on your patient.
Well, we'll do that for sure. So bold medicine talent, that's not really going to do anything for this.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I should have the talent list up. I think bold might help.
What is that? How does that work again?
So when you're using a bold, all right, why don't I see that?
All right. You choose a single discipline. You buy one or more D20s by adding to threat. You may re-roll a single D20.
So
I don't need to use that unless I have a really bad roll that I need to re-roll.
No, it's you have to have bought the extra die.
Yeah. I think you have to decide before you roll.
And I pay for it how?
Oh, well, you add to threat, so the team pays for it later is what happens. But you can do it all you want.
Well, don't tell them that.
Could very much regret this, but I have a feeling this dude is something special. I am going to buy that extra die to make it easier for me to save this fucker.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me get back to there. Like my what looks? What? Wait. Oh, yeah. Very determined. Okay.
So
how many rolls do I need to do, and when do you want me to start doing them?
You get to roll 3 20-sided dice. They are unopposed. And we'll let you roll first.
Does he have anyone assisting him?
Yes.
I have a nurse assisting me.
All right, so you're...
Okay, I rolled a 6, a 14, and an 8.
Well, I think that is 3 successes, and let's look at...
What are your focuses?
My focuses... I gotta go back to my fingers. Card playing, archaeology, mythology, literature, bedside managed, medical insight, Borg assimilation, and temporal mechanics.
No, he's using a talent. He's using the bold medicine.
Yeah, I was looking for something that might give him a double.
I don't think any of those focuses applies. So
I'll still roll. At least 2, possibly 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
But you rolled a 6
actually,
and 8.
Would somebody else roll a die for the nurse assisting him? Let me see who I've got here. All right. Nurse Exada is helping. She's got a... She's got a control of 10 for doing surgery, and she's using your medicine score, 5, so she's got a target of 15. Would somebody roll against a target of 15?
I'll roll it.
All right.
Don't screw this up.
16.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Thanks, Ellie. You just killed him.
No.
All right, so now I'm going to roll, or actually, would somebody else roll for Doc? Bach will do first.
All right.
And that's
which is a
2
control
dice
plus medicine, a target of 14.
Okay, I'll roll for Doc Bach.
Okay.
A 1 and a 16.
Oh, so a double success and 1 failure.
Does Doc Bach have an assist? Does Doc Bach have any assistance?
Well, technically, yeah. Doc Bach can have. Actually, you both can have an assistance. Somebody roll 1 more die for Phil. I think. Oh, I've got to bring up another.
I could roll a die for me.
All right. So what happens is you're in your own sick bay. You're in your own infirmary. So I could check the medical power of Deep Space Nine itself. It gets to roll a die against a target. If I can find it. All right, there we go. Engineering security. Medicine. It has a medicine score of 3. So it gets to roll against a target of 13. So roll that die, Phil.
Okay, here we go. Don't screw this up. I rolled a 13.
You made it. All right, so somebody else roll for Doc Box against the 13.
I'll go ahead and do that.
All right.
Wish us luck. I got a 6.
Hey, all right. That surgery wrapped up very quickly. Doc Bach is now done. Now someone else can close.
Okay.
All right. And now let's roll Dr. Tessick. Dr. Tessick, where are you? I think you were near the top. Rose, Zinks. Oh, there we are. Tessic Shatimi. All right. Oh, not the greatest doctor. Dr. Tessic gets to roll 2 dice or 3 dice. The Deep Space Nine's score is actually better than Dr. Tessic's score. So his target is 12. Deep Space Nine's target is 13. So two dice against a 12 and 1 against a 13. Oops.
I'll roll it.
All right.
I got a 3, a 19, and a 12.
Oh. All right. The 3 and the 19 will go for Tessic. So and the 12 goes for Deep Space Nine, so that makes it. All right. Okay, so you're still in surgery, still working. Nobody's dead. One of the patients, the one that never lost consciousness, is now out of surgery and going to recovery. So
also, you need to interrogate them about the Mutara Nebula.
Yeah, I'm busy trying to keep them from dying right now, so that's kind of low on my list.
This is a great time to do an interrogation. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, not my job.
Yes, but you never let us in your sick bay to do the interrogation. So,
well, there's a good reason, because you're always trying to interrogate them. This is a place of healing.
Yeah. So I know I took a Hippocratic oath to cure you, but before I ask you this next question, think about, how do you feel about scars? Okay, let's go on to the next round. Roll 3 dice. Or are you going to do another bold?
Yes, I am.
All right, so you're going to roll 3 dice. Someone's going to roll a die to assist you, and then you'll roll another die for your sick bay.
Okay. I rolled I got a 2, a 16, and a 15.
A 2, a 16, and a 15.
That should be 2 successes and a failure.
Yes, but you can re-roll that failure because you used your bold.
Oh, all right. Well, I shall do that. And I got a 2.
Yes. All right. That's 3 successes. Somebody roll for his assistant.
I'll try it again. 17. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
okay, Ella's banned from the dice.
Ella's not
for the rest
helping
of the
me
session.
anymore.
The assistant was not very helpful. And somebody roll for Deep Space Nine's infirmary.
I'll do it. I'm rolling for it.
Which has a target of 13.
8.
8. All right. So you're doing well. You've succeeded in. You've gotten 8/11ths of the way through this surgery.
Okay.
All right. Now, Doc Bach is moving on to the con officer, who is a docile with the orange face. And somebody want to roll for Doc Bach?
Not Ella.
I'll roll for Doc Bach.
All right. Doc Bach's target is 14.
A 5 and an 11.
All right. Made it. And was it? No, that's not it. I just had that sheet up of. Oh, here it is. And Deep Space Nine's target again is 13.
Okay, rolling for Deep Space Nine. 2.
All right. So that's what happened. Could have used that. All right. So Doc Bach, that was 2 successes then? Or was that 3?
3 with the sick bay roll.
Excellent. Okay. And now we got a roll for Dr. Tessick. Phil, were you rolling for Dr. Tessick?
I can roll for Dr. Tessick. I'll do it. I'm rolling 3.
Dr. Tessick's target is a 12. Deep Space Nine's target is a 13.
So I'm rolling 3 total.
Well, roll the 2 dice first for Dr. Tessick.
7 and a 15.
All right, that's 1 success. And then roll against the target of 13.
14.
Oh, all right. So that's only 1 success. So Dr. Tessick's kind of struggling here.
Well, I'm almost done with this one. Then I'll go swooping in like the cavalry and save the day.
Okay, but so far, no complications. Nobody's dying. Everything's going according to plan. And all it's cost you is 2 threats so far.
A small price to pay.
All right, ready for the next round?
Yes.
Okay. You going to do the same thing again?
That depends. How many successes do I need to stabilize the patient I'm currently with?
You need 3 successes.
So I'm not going to use I'm not going to buy a threat this time. I'm going to just go with my 2 rolls and my helper and hope I can figure it. Hope I can finish them
All right,
off.
so you'll get your 2 rolls, your helper, and your and Deep Space Nine.
Works for me.
Okay, so you make your 2 rolls.
Okay, 11 and a 4.
You succeeded. You got 2 successes.
Okay.
Somebody needs to roll for.
I'll do it. I'm right here.
nurse.
I got it. And I rolled a 16 for the 3rd roll.
Oh, that just misses it. And
Okay.
now roll against 13 for Deep Space Nine.
6.
6. All right. The nurse can close for you. This patient is going to live. Okay, so now we move on. So 2 patients saved so far. And Doc Bach is doing pretty well. But Tessick's not. All right, so what you could do is leave that nurse to close on Mr. Overlot and you go assist Dr. Tessick next round.
That's the plan.
We've got to roll for Doc. We've got to roll for both of them. So who's going to roll for Doc Bach?
Darren, why don't you? You haven't rolled in a while.
Sure.
And you're
2
off
dice.
the videos
All
frozen.
right, target is 14, 2 dice.
What else? I'm off what?
No, your video's back. It was frozen for a minute.
Oh, okay. I got a 12 and a 16.
Okay.
So 1 success.
So that's 1 success. And then somebody roll for Deep Space Nine's infirmary, which has a target of 13.
I can do that.
All right.
Oh, you don't want to know. 16.
16.
Okay.
Okay.
Not a complication.
Not a complication. So far, we get 1 critical success, but 0 complications so far? That's a lot of die.
Yep.
High rolling for that.
2 threats.
Okay, continuing on the work track. Now let's, we've got 2 patients are done. Being closed. We've got the con officer and the captain then. So, Phil, are you moving to the captain?
Yes, I am.
All right. The captain is a Paradan. You are somewhat familiar with alien anatomy. You're stepping in to assist Dr. Tessick, whose medical skill suddenly jumps to yours.
I have that effect on people. So, okay. Do you want me to start rolling then?
Yes. You're going to roll 2 dice?
1 and a 6.
Oh, double success. So that is very good. And now somebody roll for Deep Space Nine, target of 13.
I'll do
Anybody going to roll?
I'll do it. I
got a
got
Super
5.
good into roll.
Oh, there we go. I'll
I got
take
a
his
5.
5.
Okay. And somebody roll for Dr. Tessick.
I can roll for
which
Tessick.
now has a target of 15 instead of 12.
1 die for Tessick or 2?
2 dice.
Okay. 6 and a 15.
Well, they're both successes.
Yeah.
So this patient is done. The captain has made a tremendous turnaround. And now we've just got Doc Bach working on the con officer.
I'll step in and see how how the doctor's doing.
Well, this is at the same time. So Doc Bach is working while you are helping Dr. Tessick.
Oh,
so
okay,
you will
then.
step in the next round. So who's going to roll for Doc Bach?
Darren?
Okay. 4 and a 12.
That's
two
fine.
successes.
Doc Bach's target is 14. And somebody roll for Deep Space Nine, target of 13.
Okay. 3.
All
Three.
right.
Three's good.
Okay, so you've got just 1 patient left in surgery. So far, amazingly, no complications.
All right.
So now, Phil, you will go over to assist Doc Bach, I presume?
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Well, Tessick is closing on the captain.
Yes.
Okay, so you become primary surgeon. You roll 2 dice. Doc Bach will assist you. Somebody roll 1 die for Doc Bach.
This is bad. I rolled a 10 and a 20.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
10 and 20. Somebody roll for Doc Bach.
I did. I got a 10.
Okay, so that's... Somebody roll for Deep Space Nine, target 13.
I can do that. 9.
Okay.
Did the patient spring a leak?
All right, so...
Wait, this race had how many arms? 1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
that's
What?
exactly it. So the operation is done. The operation is a success. But the patient lost a leg. That's the complication.
Well, we can regrow those.
Yeah.
If the patient wants you to regrow the leg, you can. Yes. That's right. But right now you've got a docile minus a leg in your sick bay.
I've had worse. That's exactly it. So everybody's stable.
Everybody's stable. Everybody's going to live. They're all coming around now. So now we're almost caught up with real time. But so far, the other ships, everybody hasn't left Deep Space Nine yet. So everybody is here. If anyone is allowed to come into sickbay and talk to the patients.
So let me just again, because is everybody else from our player group? Is everybody on the station now? Or are you guys still off?
Right now? But shortly, both ships are going to leave.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to be like, Commander, this is
yes.
the doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Listen, I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say to you, but My fellow doctors and I stabilized a couple of these patients here, and before we put the one that was conscious had quite a story to tell, and well, I think maybe you ought to hear it too. We got everybody stable. If you want to come here and talk to them, I think they can. They're good to answer questions.
I'm allowed in your sick bay?
They're stable and they have a story that they're pretty keen on telling. So yes.
Okay, I hustled down there. I don't ask twice.
Yeah, you're not going to hear this offer every day.
All right, so I get to sick bay.
Okay. You have the accountant who never lost consciousness but knows the least of any of them. You have the captain and the con officer from the ship. And you have Mr. Overlot, who's kind of still recovering. He was pretty badly hurt, but all life-threatening wounds are done. The con officer is the one who lost a leg, might be having some psychological issues right now.
Well, I start with the captain, of course.
Start with the captain. Okay.
Yeah.
The captain is a Paradin. If you'll recall, there's a Paradin who is now Dracoon's fanboy. If you remember what the Paradin looks like. It doesn't matter. They're humanoid. Alien. And so the captain is lying in bed but conscious.
Captain, can you tell us what happened?
Where do you want me to start? Somebody shot at us. I was wounded. We escaped through the wormhole. Is that good?
Well, who shot at you?
It was just a Vorta research vessel. A corporate research vessel, actually.
Do you know which corporation?
Yeah, it was Nidian Industries. I'm sorry, Nidania Industries.
Do you know why they shot at you?
Because they could. Because looting a luxury transport ship is profitable.
Yeah, but
A research ship doesn't have much weapons, but it has more than an executive transport.
But that's not been the standard for your quadrant before.
Well, yeah, because the Jem'Hadar were enforcing peace, but I can tell you definitely that wasn't happening.
Do you have any other thoughts onto why they would have attacked you other than just to loot you? Was there any warning?
What you want to ask about is the motivation of those guys to attack us. No, I don't think there was anything they expected to get but to loot our ship. We've got nice trappings. The ship has quite a significant bank account. We have very fine food and beverages on board.
Were you carrying anybody of note?
Usual, we are carrying executives, and maybe that was their target because it's executives of a rival corporation.
What was that rival corporation?
Well, Geta Industries Multiplicities, or Geta Enterprises Multiplicities. We had rescued some crew from but you didn't want to hear about that, so we...
I didn't want to hear about that?
You asked about who attacked us.
Okay, well, tell me who you rescued then. I'm assuming this was before you were attacked?
Yes, it was when we were at the Founder's homeworld. We rescued the crew of another executive cruiser at the Founder's homeworld because they were also being attacked by a Vorta science vessel from Nidania Industries.
Is anybody here in the sick bay you can identify part of that group you rescued?
Yes, the guy in the fancy suit there, Mr. Overlut.
Thank you, sir.
He was one of them, but
while you're here on the station, is there anything I can do for you, Captain? I mean, aside from obviously medical services and
fix my ship, and maybe it's entirely possible we're all going to need a job if our corporation is gone.
And which corporation you work for? Geta also? Or?
Yeah, we work for Geta. We had no idea all this was going to go down.
Did it come as a surprise to you what happened with the homeworld being cut off?
Yes, we had an appointment with the founders. When we arrived, we expected to talk to them, but we couldn't communicate through the energy barrier.
What were you expecting to talk to them about?
That's confidential business stuff having to do with corporate inventory.
And possibly battles for profit?
No, we're not part of that branch of the company.
Okay.
We deal in plumbing fixtures.
You're plumbers?
No, we manufacture and distribute fixtures.
I see. Okay. I glance over at the doctor because I assume he's supervising this to make sure I'm doing nothing bad to his patients. Is there anything else I should be asking, Doctor?
What? I'm sorry.
We just lost Ella.
What are you doing, Phil? You're not paying attention.
Sorry, you cut out for a second. I didn't hear your question.
I was asking if there's any other questions I should follow up with as I'm speaking to the captain.
Oh, no. That's pretty much everything.
All right. Is Mr. the suit guy, Mr. Overlot?
Dr. Tessick taps you on the shoulder, says, "Excuse me, Commander. You might want to hear the story about what the Jem'Hadar role in all this."
I'd be very interested in hearing that.
The accountant guy started talking about that.
Okay, I move over to the accountant guy.
No. He says the captain can probably tell the story. I was dying to ask him before.
Captain, tell me what's this about the Jem'Hadar?
Oh yes. Well, obviously, you should know all about that, right? I mean, everybody knows there's a squadron of Jem'Hadar ship guarding the Founder's homeworld. So I assumed you knew all about that part.
And they didn't intervene when corporate ships were firing on each other?
That's unheard of. They just sat there. They weren't damaged or anything. They saw it happen. They didn't know what to do. The Jem'Hadar and the Vorta commanding the ships were totally confused when they were cut off from the Founders. They just sat there and watched the looting take place when that science vessel attacked the executive cruiser. And nobody intervened when we went to rescue survivors. All the science vessel wanted was to loot the ship. So we managed to get away before they did anything to us. But we rescued Mr. Overlut and some of his staff while the Nidania ship looted the GEM ship. And then we asked Dominion Central Traffic Control for a route to our next destination. But it sent us straight into a trap. Again, with Nidania Industries, a rival corporation ship was waiting for us. It didn't route us toward our proper destination at all. So we went off the grid and headed for the wormhole while they were shooting at us. So whatever you do, don't trust the Dominion's traffic guidance system.
I'll keep that in mind. Did you know anything about this Nadidia Industries?
They're a rival corporation. I guess they figured out that although the lawlessness had broken out before we figured it out.
The ship just came through. I call up to comms and ask Bob Newhart. I'm assuming he's up there. I asked Bob Newhart, the Dominion ship that came through recently that was claiming everything was fine. That wasn't a Nadidia ship, was it?
Yeah, I guess. All right, this is Game Master talking now. I guess that's kind of now happening. The surgery is over, and those events are happening now. And yes, those ships have come through, and
well, so I already
they offered to assist. You refused their offer, and they headed into Cardassian space.
And at the time I refused their offer, did I know if they were Nadidia ships or not?
Oh, they're GEM ships.
They're GEM ships, okay.
Yeah, and they say everything's fine over in the Gamma Quadrant.
Which is weird. Okay.
They saw there was this damaged GEM ship there docked there, and they offered to help you fix it, and you turned down their offer.
All right, Doctor, am I missing anything else with the captain? Other doctors?
You're asking the wrong person. You've heard everything that I heard, so.
All right, so now you're down to, you don't have much time. You were going to send a ship to follow them. I think it was going to be the Defiant. That ship is going to need to leave pretty soon. But you can stay in sick bay if you want to, in the infirmary if you want to.
Well, I was always going to stay in Deep Space Nine, so
right.
the split that I originally had can still stand, unless anybody else has other ideas.
So you were going to send Manny, Bob Newhart, and Laplock on the Defiant to trail them.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
so we'll go quickly to that, to the Defiant undocking, and talk to Manny, Bob Newhart, and Laplock. Laplock was your character, right, Darren?
Yes.
Okay. So Manny, Bob Newhart, and Laplock are on the Defiant. The Defiant is undocking. The Dominion ships are on heading 267, probably toward the Tauros 3 shipyards, which is exactly what you would expect based on what they told you. So before you get out of sensor range, are you going to follow them cloaked or not? It's probably a decision for Manny.
Oh, wait, I'm in charge of this mission? Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you want to put Droff in charge? I mean, really.
Yeah, but it'll still pick up your music. All right. The Defiant has a cloaking device?
Yes, the Defiant has a cloaking device.
You didn't know that? I say we should be cloaked. Yeah. I'm not trusting anything that happens in the Gamma Quadrant, so.
Now, remember, you're not going into the Gamma Quadrant. You're going into Cardassian space.
Well, then we definitely should be cloaked.
You're just tailing these ships.
So, okay.
So,
I mean, okay,
I'm going to throw out
ships. I'm assuming that we don't want them to know that we're there, right?
Right. You don't want them to know that they're there. Let me throw out some Game Master level stuff that everybody knows. All right. Everybody knows you have a cloaking device. Everybody knows that Jem'Hadar ships have anti-cloaking sensors. you guys have some experience running those sensors on Starship 11, but you never actually tested Starship 11 against the Defiant to see how far away they have to be or how close they have to be to see the cloaked Defiant. So you could take a swag, or you could just turn on your cloak and follow them.
What's
and
a
see if they
swag?
notice. Scientific wild ass guess.
Hold on. I'm confused. I thought we were in the.
Oh. All right.
I thought we were in the Defiant. Is that
You
right?
are in the Defiant. You have
Are
now
we-
just undocked from Deep Space Nine.
You
You're
just said
deciding
the,
whether or not the cloak is turned on.
Okay, whose bright idea was it not to test this theory?
You've got a theory, but you
No,
never
no,
collected
you said
any data.
on the. No. You said on the 11th we have the capability to.
On Starship 11, you have the same sensors that the Jem'Hadar have.
Border ships have sensors, but you've never tested how close you
But
have
we're not
to
on a
be.
Jem'Hadar ship. We're on the Defiant. I'm confused.
No,
Right.
okay, all right. So we're trying to decide if we should follow these ships into Cardassian space cloaked or not. The ships we're following has the technology to detect cloaking devices. So does Starship 11. So what we didn't test was we didn't use the Defiant in Starship 11 to see how far the Defiant had to be so they couldn't pick up on us at all.
There's an easy solution to this, which is the people who are on 11 getting ready to go just need to watch you and let you know when you blip out of visual range.
Okay.
Yes, the
So
ship
I'm
goes to
gonna-
11.
Do we have time to do that before we lose the ships we're supposed to be tracking?
Well, let's say people going
We just
on
have to
Starship
fly
11
away.
were Droff, Jal, Dracoon, and Eyal. So we're going to say Droff is on Starship 11 already because he's not down in the infirmary doing an interrogation. So you can say, hey, Droff, watch this. How's that sound?
Okay. Defiant to 11.
Okay, and then
All right, we need
well,
you to-
let's as an exercise, as the ships pull away from each other, calibrate the cloaking devices so that we know what the range is.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, you haven't
very
undocked
specific.
yet.
You're just going to watch them go and let them
Yeah.
know when you don't see them anymore.
Okay, that works.
Okay, so I need Droff to make a roll.
Okay,
Where's Droff?
this is a science roll.
Yeah.
All right, where's that?
We're going to make that control plus science.
All right.
So your target is 14.
Okay, it's a 14.
2 dice unless you want to add to threat or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, 11 and 18. I have 1 success.
All right. So near as you can tell,
And then,
yes. Do you have any focus?
okay, and then if I spend determination, I can get an additional die.
How are you going to spend determination? You get 1 determination spend a day.
Science is interesting and fun. Yeah, science is interesting and fun. Or
If you
mysteries
want
are
to
there
use
be
your
solved.
determination spend for today, doing that, you can.
Nah, I think I'll save it.
Oh, okay.
I got 1 success, and then, but Laplock on the other end, he has improved sensors or something.
Yeah, but that's not going to help with this.
Yeah,
but
he's on the wrong
you
ship.
can use Starship 11's sensor score. So let's see what on Starship 11.
But can Laplock assist the professor, because he has a special Klingon assistance skill?
Oh shoot, that's not it. Oh, there it is. So it has
Or was
sensors
that an
of
engineering?
11. Science of, oh, wow. Jeez. Starship 11 is awesome at this.
Oh, what? This is the ship?
Yeah, Starship 11 has a
Okay.
target of 16.
Would someone like to roll for the ship?
Someone roll for Starship 11, please.
Should not be me.
I'll go ahead and
Okay, go and roll it.
14.
Okay,
That's a
you
success. That's
succeeded.
2 successes.
All right. Droff can report that it was about 10 or 11,000 kilometers when the anti-cloaking sensors could no longer pick up the Defiant.
Does the 11 also have a cloaking device?
No.
Okay.
So assuming the Jem'Hadar
All right.
have the same sensors and are watching with the same intensity, that's about how far out or how close you can get before you can be detected.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to follow them from further away than that?
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to, they're headed on heading 267 toward the Taurus 3 shipyards, which is exactly what you would expect. You're now in Cardassian space, following them. I am throwing down one of those threat points that Phil gave me.
Thanks, Phil.
Hey,
and
man.
the fleet is now altering course to heading 178.
Was I supposed to just let those poor innocent people die? You want that on your conscience, Ella?
She's half Klingon. She doesn't care. It would have been an honorable death.
All right. Anybody want to think about this? Ask any questions, anything like that.
Like
what was the heading?
What is it?
Now they've
378?
turned from 267 to 178.
And what is 178? What's in that direction?
Yeah, that would...
Possibly the Omekla shipyards. It's a much less logical direction for them to go. Are you going to change course with them?
Yes.
Okay, you're changing course to follow them.
They did a crazy Ivan at the bottom of the hour. Is that it?
Yeah. They did
More or
not
less.
turn back on their. They
Let's
didn't
see.
turn back toward DS9. They've turned to a different heading in Cardassian space. All right, now let's go back to
So
And we're
the
following
Omekla
them.
shipyard.
On that
back to the
heading.
infirmary
Yes.
where you're talking to the patients.
Mhm.
You were about to talk to Mr. Overlet.
Yes.
All right, he is less woozy now. And what questions are you going to ask him?
Mr. Overlet, can you tell us what happened to you?
Well, my ship was going to the Founder's homeworld to report in what we found on our expedition, and we couldn't get through to the Founders. And we were attacked by a science vessel of all things. But it's a science vessel that was better armed than our executive transport, and they were just looting us. They just wanted the food and wine and stuff on board our ship.
Where were you exploring?
Oh, an insignificant system not far from the wormhole anomaly, the Ionorana system.
And that sounds very familiar to us. What did you find at the Eon Neurana system?
Well, before we abandoned the system, we saw many, many extraordinary things there.
Like?
Well, The whole system's been dead for about 42,000 years. Then some sudden cataclysm swept across all the planets. It was like fire. And it reduced the brilliant golden sun to a brown dwarf in an instant. And it was about 42,000 years ago.
And what is there now?
Well, we looked on several planets in the system. My team was looking at Norina 7. We found signs of an ancient civilization. And we saw the most curious statues that were very confusing to us.
Confusing in what way?
Well, there were statues of Bajorans. We had never seen Bajorans in the Gamma Quadrant until the last few years when the wormhole was discovered. How could there have been Bajorans in the Gamma Quadrant 42,000 years ago?
Any statues of humans?
No,
That's
but
weird.
we saw something even stranger than that. We saw a statue of a Vorta. There was one statue of a Vorta. And that Vorta, get this, was wearing a Bajoran jumpsuit. Now, the founders only invented the Vorta 2,000 years ago. How could these people have erected a Vorta statue 42,000 years ago?
Do you know which, I always think, I never know the right word to say this, which name the Vorta model had?
No, there was no name on the statue, and we couldn't interpret the language.
I grab a pad and pull up a picture of our Vorta and show him the picture. Is that the Vorta you saw?
Yes, it was a Dracoon clone. Yes, and it was a Dracoon clone wearing a Bajoran jumpsuit. Yes. How could that be, though? The Dracoon line has only been around 100 years or so. Now, we know the Bajoran civilization goes back 40,000 years. They certainly didn't have space flight 40,000 years ago. And this planet is 90,000 light years from Bajor.
You don't need time travel when you have a non-linear alien species wandering around.
Helps.
How could they make statues of Bajorans unless the Bajorans traveled through the wormhole? That would make sense, but the Bajorans could not have been traveling through wormholes in their medieval times with stone knives and bearskins. It was a very interesting scientific expedition.
I think this is a question for Dracoon and
I'm sorry, I misspoke. His answer to one of your questions, he said no, but the answer is yes. There was a statue of a human.
Thank you. I was wondering what happened to the Cisco.
He was bald and male.
I pull up a picture of Cisco. Show him the picture of the Cisco.
That's the statue.
Okay, so
2,000 years ago.
We know this settlement was part of the non-linear alien wormhole people. What are they called again?
The wormhole aliens?
Yes.
We call them the wormhole aliens. You call them the wormhole aliens. Only the Bajorans call them something else.
Okay.
Some religious name. We were really, really intrigued by our scientific explorations, but then suddenly the team that was exploring Norina 4, they unleashed some horrible energy monsters. They were creatures of extraordinary power. The monsters possessed the crew of a Jem'Hadar ship, and that was when our team fled the system. We ran for our lives, but it did seem like a useless gesture. our calculations showed that these monsters teamed up with the Jem'Hadar could sweep across the Dominion like an apocalypse, burning out every star system in the entire Gamma Quadrant. But somehow that didn't happen.
Yet.
We were trying to report our findings to the founders when suddenly we were cut off from the founders.
All right. I think we firmly established the importance of Eon Neurana system. Not any closer to figuring out how to stop the race, though. Were all these ships, were any of them corporate science vessels?
Well, we were working for Geta Enterprises Multiplicities.
But all the ships, all the ships in your survey team were part of Geta.
Yes. We were working for Geta at the time. In the science division, in the research division, we were setting up a research station. The station was under construction, but the project was abandoned when the energy monsters were unleashed. That's been some weeks ago. I'm not sure what's happening there now.
But do you know how the energy monsters were unleashed? Was there please tell me there was a cage or something that they were being held in?
We don't know. The team that apparently unleashed them never got to report in.
Quick question. It's going to sound like a strange one. Dosai by the name of Keen. Does that name ring a bell?
Yes, Keen is an executive in Geta.
I only know her as an executive, though.
I didn't. I think some of the people on our expedition did report to Keen. My crew didn't. I was just a project manager that was researching the statues. I think Keen may have been managing some teams that were looking at the technology of this ancient civilization, but I don't know anything about that part of the project.
All right. Anybody else have any thoughts on questions I should be asking? Anybody who's here?
Yeah. Statues, 42,000 years.
Well, we found the homeworld of, or ancient ruins of,
if they have pictures and scans of these items, is there any way you could send them to, Professor Droff on the 11th?
Yep, because you're heading that direction. I'll send you a full report.
Whatever data they have, for scientific purposes.
I'll ask.
I am the manager of a scientific expedition, but and in the interest of science, I want to contribute to science, but I am not myself a scientist. I am a corporate manager who is concerned that possibly my corporation and my job are no longer going to pay me. So I could sell you these sensor scans for a reasonable price.
What would be a reasonable price in your opinion?
Well, he names a price that the universal translator turns to 10 strips of gold press latinum.
All right. Next question is: do I have access to 10 strips of gold press latinum, or do I need to
somehow
argue with
you
this guy?
always do. Yes, Starfleet somehow always does.
I go ahead and pay him. I
Okay,
agree.
he turns over the sensor scans to you.
I send those on to 11 since 11 hasn't undocked yet, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, so now I think we're ready for Starship 11 to undock.
All right.
Starship 11 with Droff, Joel, Dracoon, and Eal. So
Why not?
Because I'm playing a game.
it's got that's 2 people who aren't here, and Ella and
Oh, I don't think we
what?
did. We decide what ship Bob Newhart was going to be
Yeah,
on?
Bob Newhart's on the Defiant.
I thought he was going on the Defiant.
Okay,
Yes.
Bob Newhart's on
Bob
the Defiant.
Newhart
Okay.
is on the Defiant. And
All
we
right,
missed
so,
rolling our opening credits.
assuming
I'm
I
just
get the
not gonna bother
scientific
with that
data.
this week. We're running too late.
Well,
Maybe we'll run them as the closing
Dude,
credits.
yeah, if we get stuck in a time loop, you could run them.
It's not a loop. It's non-linear. It's all experienced at once. It's different.
I hope
All right.
everyone's okay with going a little after 9 tonight.
The data that they're sending over, particularly the statues, are there any inscriptions or any kind of, symbols on it?
On Starship 11, they are symbols that you remember Mani knows how to read, but Mani is already headed off in the opposite direction.
But we're
First thing I thought of.
So, wait, Mani. Oh, she knows how to read that. Okay.
He's on the Defiant. Send him to Mani.
I know the ancient Bajoran language.
But you're running cloaked and radio silent right now.
Oh no! No!
You can listen to them, but do you respond when they ask you a question? And also, it's time for Starship 11 to get underway now.
Well, wait. So I can listen and translate and then decide if my answer is worth breaking radio silence, correct?
Yes.
Yes, you could.
And then, Jaw's not here, but he's on the ship with Dracoon. I could say, hey, do you notice these? Is this something you can read?
Jawl can read it.
I was about to say that's a little like asking a modern Israeli to read ancient Hebrew. It don't work.
Yeah, or a modern Egyptian to read hieroglyphics.
All right. Let's see here. Where's my sheet?
I mean, maybe if you've studied it, you could read Latin, but
Semper ubi
but
sub
ubi. This language, even the universal translator, is not really up to snuff right now for reading. So it's time for Starship 11 to get underway.
Cultural flexibility.
Yeah, 11 should just go, and if Mani finds anything out when Mani returns, she can make some decisions then.
Yeah, I'll send a coded burst or whatever in the direction of where I last saw them and say, hey, we saw these symbols. If you come up with something, let us know, but we're headed off.
Oh, did Ella drop off?
Yeah, we lost Ella.
All right. Kai, when Ella logs back in,
please
bring her back into the room.
She's cloaked.
All right.
Very
well,
close.
right now we're going to play.
Yes.
I guess Droff is kind of running Starship 11. You do own it, after all. So you're the captain on Starship 11
I do
for
own
this
it.
mission. You've got the keys. You've got
Okay.
the title. Yeah.
I think it's the first time he's been allowed to play with his own toy, too.
So you fly through the wormhole without incident. You come through the other side of the wormhole and nothing. There's no battle going on, no debris of exploded ships, no mayday signals everywhere, no flames sweeping
That's really
across
odd.
the
Do we
Gamma
just-
Quadrant. Everything looks normal.
Do we like fall through like a time rift? Oh, lovely. Okay. Well then, this system. I had it written down, but now I don't know where it is.
You're
The one with the
supposed to-
statues and whatnot. It's near
Yes.
near the wormhole.
Eon Norina system is not that far from the wormhole. You can get there in an hour or so. Even faster if you went maximum warp.
Yeah, I think it's worth checking out. Yeah, we'll head over that direction. I'll study the scientific data that the other ship sent over, and see if there's anything that jumps out that we should focus our sensors on.
Okay, you're going to get.
And also, I want to start building. Some simulations on, because I have some ideas on how you would cause a star to suddenly expand and irradiate this, or burn whatever the system. I have some ideas on how that might be done, so I'll start running some
What was
simulations
described to you
on
was
how
not
that
the
might happen.
star wiping out the system. It was the same flame that wiped out the planets also wiped out the star. That's how it was described to you by the project manager.
And this was had to do with this was a proximity with the wormhole. So
Yes.
yeah, I've got some ideas. All right.
All right. I want you to make a
On
roll.
how that might happen. Okay.
I want you to make. This
Sure.
is going to be one of
What
those
am I rolling?
perception check things. An insight roll. So let's see. It's going to be probably insight plus science, which is a 15 for you. You get
Okay.
2 dice unless you want.
Yep.
To burn.
Oh, to spend determination.
spend something.
I got a 3 and a 14, so that's 2 successes. Do I need a third?
2
success?
successes. Okay. The description of what happened to this star system 42,000 years ago sounds just like the description you had of what happened to that Dominion star system like 3 days ago when the Jem'Hadar ship got there.
Yeah.
And started wreaking havoc. The energy swept across the planets. It wiped out the, what were they? I can't remember. The race that played all the games. And it also swept across the star and reduced it to a brown dwarf.
Okay.
So it sounds like you're
Did
heading
it
to a system
involve-
that 42,000 years ago went through that.
Yeah, and basically, I'm building simulations on. Well, we know, roughly what the system looked like back then. Now we know what it looks like. What would cause that?
You don't know what the system looked
wormhole
like
is
back
moving.
then.
I don't know. The Vulcans know it? Well, we can put together some. Actually, we do, because all we need to do is go 42,000 light years away and then turn our sensors on it.
Well,
So
if
I
you
can dig through historical records, any observation. I could also, ask the Vulcan Academy, hey, what do you got on this star system?
You probably could mathematically model what the system looked like.
Yeah.
When you get a look at the system as it is now, you could probably mathematically model.
Yes, but are you writing a research paper or exploring right now?
It sounds like he's getting ready to publish.
No. I'm trying to figure out, how did this thing happen, and how does it happen again? Because
How did I put him in charge?
how did
Y'all can mutiny take over.
He's more or less on his
All
own on
right.
the ship right now, I think.
So Starship 11 is about to enter the Eon Arena system. But first, let's jump back to...
is there anything...
Yes?
Okay.
Were you going to ask one more question before we switch scenes?
No. No, we can switch scenes.
Okay. Back on Deep Space Nine.
Yes, back on Deep Space Nine.
You're about to have dinner with your girlfriend. What are you going to tell her about what happened today?
Well,
He bravely saved multiple people's lives.
well, yeah. I'm just going to be like, Phaedria. I'm sorry that I've had to delay this. I just, my responsibilities as the chief medical officer at Deep Space Nine were kind of pressing, and fortunately, with the assistance of Dr. Tessick and Doc Bach, we were able to save all of our patients today. Didn't lose one.
Oh, that's wonderful. You're so heroic.
It's just my job. I'm just doing my job.
That ship looked so badly damaged. I thought there would be many casualties.
Well, maybe if there was a different medical team at a different deep space station, but not here, not on my shift.
All right, so let's look at her.
Yeah, Dracoon keeping the ship from completely blowing out and taking half of DS9 out with it has nothing
You're
to do
not
with
on this
it.
date. He
I
can tell that
know.
story if he wants to. All right, so are you going to turn on the charm?
Am I going to turn on the charm?
Are you going to use your...
Yeah, when did I turn off the charm, Mike?
All right, so we're going to say you're going to use your presence plus command, and she is not going to resist, but your target is 10 with presence plus command. Roll 2 dice unless you're going to use anything else.
I'm looking to see if there's anything else I can use.
We're going to find out.
Hold on. How many dice am I rolling?
You're rolling 2 dice unless you buy one.
How badly do you want it to go well?
So the question here is there another threat involved if I buy the die?
No. You would have to spend a point of momentum, or if you can use one of your values, what are they called?
There is none of my values that are going to have anything to do with this.
You don't have playing doctor on the list?
Yeah, if you could use one of your values, you could spend the point of determination and get 2 automatic successes.
I don't think my values are going to play into this. Don't think so. I'm going to have to just trust in the universe. 2 and a 2.
Oh,
Ooh, dream weaver.
yeah.
I believe you can get me through the night.
So she did not resist your rolls. This was an unopposed roll. So she does invite you back to her quarters after dinner.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. Of course she did. That's right.
Of course she did.
Business. It's
All right,
business
now we're going to
now.
close the curtain on that scene.
But business
Thank
hours
you.
are over, baby.
And we're going to jump to the Defiant. Let's see where the Defiant was here on my script.
Were they going to send me the images so I could determine if it was worth breaking radio silence?
They are sending you images, but you've got stuff going on. You're on a mission, and you're in command of the mission on a cloaked ship, tailing some ships that just changed course on you. And they're kind of headed in an unexpected direction. And so maybe
As soon as we're done, I'll
you and Bob Newhart and Laplock ought to discuss this. Yes, you could take time off, leave somebody else in command,
I
and go
gotta
start
get
reading Ancient Bajoran for a
about
while.
3,000 steps.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that involved. I thought it was just something I could like look at and be like, oh,
No, this is
Yeah.
volumes.
damn it.
I think it's time for a scan of that shipyard.
So they altered course to 178, and I don't know if you bothered to look at the map of the Alpha Quadrant that I sent you all a link to, but course 178 is toward the Omekla shipyards now, still within Cardassian space, but not so deep in Cardassian space. It's more on the edge of not so deep into Cardassian space. It's in a part of Cardassian space that is closer to the Federation.
Okay. I think we should continue following because this was unexpected, this turn. I think we should continue following for now. I'll have to save the Bajoran text for later.
It was a very unexpected because the Omekla shipyards do, as far as Starfleet intelligence knows, are not we're never a significant Dominion shipyard.
Okay, I think we
All right,
should definitely
So,
continue.
Yeah, but
You follow them
what-
for another
can we
hour or
tell-
so. Did you have something, Darren?
is there any can we scan the shipyards and see if there's anything unusual there?
No, you're still hours away. It'll be tomorrow when you get to those shipyards.
I think Darren's thinking is Laplock. Can he scan the shipyards? Or okay,
Yeah.
never
But
mind.
we're
Yeah.
still far away from them though.
Yeah, you're still pretty far away. You can see where that system is.
Okay.
But I'm throwing down another threat.
You're welcome.
And they're altering course again.
God damn it.
They're now
Okay.
headed on course 141, which is totally illogical. There's no chance there were ever any
Hold on.
Dominion shipyards on that course.
Where's my character? Okay. Laplock has, let's see here, a focus on starship tactics. So do I have any clue why they're making all these changes or course changes?
They are apparently not headed where they told you they were headed when they talked to Deep Space Nine before.
So, okay, so there are two things that could be happening. One, they're not, they're going somewhere they don't want us to know about. Or two, they know we're following them and are like sending us in circles.
Trying to throw us off, yes.
As far as you know, you are not close enough for them to see.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, yes. But,
so
okay. So my character has a focus on starship tactics. Are they trying to shake us off? Do we think that we've been detected? Or is this a general strategy to hide where it is they're going?
Well, I guess we could let you make a roll.
So my general thought is they're trying to hide where they're going, but we shouldn't completely dismiss the fact that maybe we were detected and this is just a ruse.
Now, starship tactics would generally mean combat tactics. You're not in combat. And it doesn't seem like they're turning to engage you in combat. But somebody make some kind of insight roll.
Okay. So that's insight, and then I'm guessing
insight plus security. Who's going to make an insight plus security roll?
Okay, I'm only 11 on that.
And
I have a 12.
How about Bob Newhart?
I don't know.
What's Bob Newhart?
Phil?
No, that's Phil's.
I think Phil has.
Did we lose him?
You want me to look Bob up?
Yes.
Let me make sure I've still got him floating around here. Oh, here he is. I'm sorry. Give me just a minute.
He should be pretty good on insight plus security.
Bob Newhart.
Insight plus security is 16 for Bob Newhart.
All right, Bob's going to roll that.
He is definitely the one to look into this.
People tend to feel very safe around Bob.
Mm-hmm.
He's very unassuming.
Oh, he assumes a lot. I used to roll for the academy.
You get to roll 2 dice. You need 1 success.
And can I assist him? Because I got a reroll on the assist.
Yes, you could assist him.
Okay.
What did you get, Bob? Phil, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Sorry.
Okay.
I had the wrong screen up. Okay, how many dice am I rolling?
You're rolling 2 dice?
Oh, good, because I rolled 3, and the first 2 were a 4 and a 6, and the third was a 19. So we'll stick with the 4 and the 6.
Okay.
I'm assisting with a 5.
Okay. Well, I'm
assisting with a 5.
We're going to give you 1 point of momentum and 1 bit of extra information.
All right.
Course 141, yes, it's totally illogical. There are no shipyards along that course. But course 141 takes them back into Federation space. Not really close to Deep Space Nine, much further toward galactic south from Deep Space Nine. But they're about to cross back into Federation space. And your extra success for Bob Newhart tells you, my security brain says they haven't filed a Federation flight plan. As soon as they hit Federation space, we can ask them where they're going.
Well, we'd have to reveal our position, but yeah.
Or
I'm
someone
thinking we
could
just
ask them.
follow them for now. Okay.
Can we send a message to
I would
DS9
think we'd want to know where they're going first.
Federation?
You might be able to. You could drop back a little bit and send a message to DS9 and hope that it doesn't get intercepted or detected in any way.
It's your call, money. You're in charge.
I say we do that so we can remain cloak and keep following.
They'll be entering Federation space pretty soon.
So all right, we're gonna drop back a little bit, and then we're going to send a message to DS9 warning that they've taken us kind of in a loop and are now heading into Federation space, and the Federation should probably send a ship. Starfleet should probably send a ship so they can be intercepted and ask what they're doing.
Well, Deep Space Nine could ask what they're doing. Deep Space Nine could say, you're within communications range.
Somebody needs to do that so we can remain cloaked.
Or you could send a runabout. You've got an hour or so to do something before they hit Federation territory.
But
so you drop back, send that message. Let's see if there are any consequences to that. Okay.
If we
don't know what consequences there may be, they don't suddenly change course and turn back on you. And then after that, you warp back up and start following from the same distance, I presume?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. They're
but
still
if
there.
We ask them, if we ask them, oh, hey, where you're going, doesn't that maybe tip them off that, oh, shit, someone's following us?
Possibly, but it's I mean, we're taking the chance that they won't find us. I mean, if we uncloak and say, hey, what are you doing? Then they definitely know. Did we get any instructions from DS9?
I think we should just figure out where they're going.
No, your instructions were to follow them.
Okay, so we're still following.
Figure out where they're going, but so we've got the Defiant, we've got Starship 11 about to enter the Eon Norina system, and we've got, let's say that the next thing that happens is, the next event is they don't change course. This Dominion fleet does enter Federation space. Neela, what do you do?
Jeez. I always hate these poker games. I asked the other ship that's here, who's doing the peace negotiations right now.
That's true. You have a Galaxy class cruiser sitting here with a captain who's conducting negotiations.
I ask for his advice since he's a captain and I'm a commander. I say, we have this ship that didn't file a flight plan in Federation space. We suspected they were up to no good. We've been following them, and they have, in fact, entered Federation space. Do you have any advice on how we should handle this?
All right. He's...
They're clearly up to no good.
Yeah, this is Garl, who's Denobulin, and...
Oh, yes, the brother husband.
The brother husband, yeah. And I got to mark that right. There we go. All right. He's a little miffed that you interrupted his peace negotiations.
Sorry, girl.
But he'll say, all right, I'll give you a few minutes, but I'm going to ask you a favor in return.
Fair enough.
If they've entered Federation space, you should ask them to file a flight plan. We need to know where they're going, and we have every right to intercept them. And I promise you, if they change course and don't go where they say they're going, I will take my Galaxy class cruiser and explain it to them.
Okay. I will let you know how that hangs out, girl. Thank you very much for your time. And sorry for the interruption.
All right, now,
I'd rather know where
here's the
they're
favor
going
I
before
want
we
from
warn
you.
them that we know what.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, my promotion to captain that I got recently changes my social status so that I would be expected to take on another wife at this time. Do you know if that
Ooh.
is that intelligence officer Barbara available?
I can't speak for Barbara. I don't know.
I think she's single, isn't she?
To the best of my knowledge, but she's a pretty private person. So I think that's something to be handled directly. There's a wonderful Delton restaurant here on the station. It would be a wonderful opportunity to get to know her.
Okay, thank you. When she gets back, I will tell her you advised me to take her to the Delton restaurant. That's great. I appreciate your advice in return. Thanks. And he goes back to his peace negotiations.
All right. I go ahead and charge forward open comms and say,
And they respond. We're being hailed by Deep Space Nine. Hello, Deep Space Nine. What can we do for you? It's a Vorta.
I don't think you are aware that Deep Space Nine has enhanced sensors, and we can see that you have entered Federation space and have not filed a flight plan. Can you please advise?
We're very sorry about that. And I'll be right back. And he cuts off his comms, and on the Defiant, you can tell the two Jem'Hadar ships, the Vorta on the two Jem'Hadar ships, talk to each other for a minute. And then he comes back talking to Vita and says, yes, here is our flight plan right now. Sorry for the error. We apologize. We hope this smooths out everything for you.
And what does the flight plan say they're doing?
They are headed straight for the Mutara sector.
All right, somebody refresh me. What's the Mutara sector?
Okay.
First
the
of all,
Mutara sector was the nebula where... Yeah.
Go on. I'm going to
Is the
first
Mutara
say
se-
the
this
Mutara
is where
sector
the-
far away.
The Battle of the Mutara Nebula, is this the same sector?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it was actually the nebula was wiped out when the Genesis device was activated, but this is where the Enterprise fought the USS Reliant, and they collapsed the nebula to reform the Genesis planet, but yeah, I don't know what's happened to it since then, if the nebula's reformed or if it's still just,
You did hear a
dead planet
bit
over
of
there.
news about it last week, or last time we played.
Yeah, there was, the Klingons were over there? Yep. Well,
Keen had purchased a Klingon ship, crew and all, that was patrolling in that sector.
I go ahead and follow back with the Vorta and say, I excuse me, I hate to be rude, putting on my best Vorta impression, but this is nowhere near where you told us you were going originally.
Our corporate priorities have changed. We are sorry for the inconvenience, but there's really no restriction on travel to that sector, and we don't have, there's nothing of interest there. So we promise to obey all your laws and be very respectful in our travel to your lovely former nebula.
We appreciate that, and I will just remind you that DS9 has far stronger sensor ranges than you believe they do. Thank you. Click.
Okay. Thank you. So they file a flight plan headed for the Mutara sector. That's like 2 weeks away.
I have a feeling they're not going there.
That's a pretty long distance.
I don't think they're going there.
The question is the Defiant going to keep following them for 2 weeks?
Defiance orders haven't changed. Just
Damn
saying.
it.
Okay. And so
Actually,
now
this says travel. As this says, travel in and out of the sector was restricted by Starfleet. Additional permits are required, making commercial and non-military travel more difficult and more expensive.
now that was when there was
That was
a Genesis
2285
planet.
though.
Genesis is destroyed.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything there is destroyed.
That was
Genesis.
back when there were people we wanted to keep hidden on the system. That's a past tense thing.
So I have a quick question. Is the Defiant aware of the flight plan now?
Yeah, that would have all been on open.
Okay.
That was on an open frequency.
Okay.
And you can confirm that. Yeah, you're right. We are headed straight for the freaking Mutara sector. This is going to be a long trip.
All
And
right.
now let's cut back to the Starship 11. This will probably be our last scene for the week. It's already after
All right.
9 o'clock.
Okay. I'm I guess scanning the sector or scanning the system.
You can see. Are you able? Oh, did my Game Master display disappear?
Yes, it has.
Oh,
I see planets surrounding a star.
oh, you can see it. Okay, good.
But it's not on the screen where you usually display things that are showing up on the feed.
Okay. Yes, you are seeing the star system that you're entering. Are you able to see it?
Yes. So that's where Starship 11 is entering.
That is what Starship 11 is entering that system.
1, 2, 3,
And
5, 6, 7.
Droff was asking questions about what that system used to look like. You can make an insight and science roll and even use your Vulcan computer to try and imagine what it looked like before.
Well, I got 2 successes on the insight science. I also want to do like a sensor sweep and look for anything unusual.
Well,
and then I want to focus on
we're gonna
wherever the statues
let's
are.
answer your first question first.
Sure.
Okay, and use your Vulcan computer too. Make another roll.
Okay. He got a 15. I don't know if he uses my science and insight.
Yeah.
Well, we can't go to legacy.
Well, he can use my science because I have collaboration, but I don't know what
Yes.
his insight is.
And we do need to talk about that in the future. You may notice on your character sheet, I wrote up a lot of details about your Vulcan computer. And yeah, you can
cool.
refer to it as he if you want to, because it does have a verbal interface. Nobody else can talk to their tricorder, but you can talk to your tricorder.
Excellent.
You can have conversations. You could give it a name if you want to.
Well, everyone can talk to their tricorder. They don't all answer back, though. So.
Well, you can.
Hey, Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt. I got to check out. Do you need the doctor?
No, we don't need the doctor.
All right.
We're about to end for the night.
I'll see you guys all. Whoever's going to be at Mike and Patty's tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'll catch you next week.
Okay, see you next time.
Peace out, my
Arrivederci.
homies.
Federation Dominion hacking.
All
Okay.
right, so your computer comes back with the insight
Cool.
that 42,000 years ago, this system looked exactly like the Bajor system. It used to have the same
Which
number of
means it
planets
had
in the same
inhabitable
position and the
planets.
same class of star.
How many years ago? 42,000?
Weird.
42,000.
Okay.
How exactly like the Bajor system?
And
As in, was it the Bajor system?
the planet where the
Oh, then this is like a time shift.
And the planet where the statues were discovered, which I think was 7, would be the same planet that Bajor is in its own system. And if you'll recall, 42,000 years ago, both ends of the wormhole were in the 2 Bajor systems.
Yeah. And the statues were found on the planet that correspond to where Bajor was.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And you're about to enter this system.
All right. I guess. Yeah. I guess. Unless something else, sticks out on the scanners, I guess that's where we start looking. And where is that rogue comet that we looked at in relation to this system?
It came from this system.
Ah, okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
So
I'm going to make sure we have some protons on hand.
The planets right now. And as you're entering the system, I'm throwing down one more threat.
Mm-hmm.
And you detect a space station orbiting that planet. It seems to be a fully operational space station. Looks like Dominion technology.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to end for this week. Kai, could you roll the credits? Could you type CR?
In California.
Credits are over.
No,
we're back. I'm going to say that's all for this week. Thank you for watching our role play time on the Unreality Zone.
And thank you, Kai, for guest editing.
Thank you. Woo!
Oh, did I lose my... Okay, and I am going to end the live stream to YouTube now.